Morning, guys. How we doing? Welcome back to the Joy of Resin. We are doing the next layer on this guy. This will probably be the final layer where I'm adding stuff in. After this, I'm just going to seal it up, and then I will finally be done with this coffee table. So we have clear, and once I'm done with the clear, I'm going to mix in a whole bunch of white pigment and move on to the next piece. But for now, let's just get started with this. So first, trying to make sure all the little flowers get covered in place so that they don't float so much. That should do. All right, still got a good bit of that clear left. Perfect. All right, now we take a spreader and just make sure we are all the way covered. Everything is where it's supposed to be. That little one floated where it's not supposed to be. All right, tap it down. Yeah, just trying to make sure the wood pieces stay uncovered and the centerpiece stays clear as well. All right, everything looks pretty good. I'll need to hit that with the heat gun. And some alcohol spray to make sure I look good and bubble free. All right, so now again, sorry for anybody who gets motion sick. Now we're going to move over here. Where I have the next Inkwell all set up. But first I need to add in my I have words, white. Okay. All right, so I'm using pigment paste for this so that I get a nice solid white. Using a lot more than I have ever used before because, want this as opaque as possible. Suppose I could do this on camera, couldn't I? All right, just dunked my stir stick in the pigment paste, and now I'm just gently stirring it in. Okay. Good to go. Give it a spritz. And start pouring it in. All right, there we go. Holding a little bit in reserve. So for this first layer, we've just got the white, and we're putting these skulls down in it, not up above it. If you caught that reference, we can be friends. Okay. All right. Looks good. Looks good to me. Do I want to put this one in now? No, this one's much smaller and thinner. This will go on the second layer. Okay, so that's done. Move it to the curing cabinet. And now, all right, let's move on to our secondary projects. And adjust the camera. Okay, so I have silver and yellow. Silver mica, yellow dye, all made with deep pour. Not that it really matters for these projects, but okay, so for this, we're just adding the next layer. Slowly building up to the point where the cigar is fully sealed in place. Going slowly just in case of air pockets from the cigar itself. All right, now that can go on the heat. Then we have these guys. How am I looking? Okay, still on camera, nice. Oh, those friggin' dogs. Okay. So first we're gonna do these two with some silver. I've got this from the most recent pour, but the bottom is all messed up because it came from a flash cure. So I'm gonna need a stable base to put it on so that it will sit flat. Can't make this too thick because if I do, it will overflow. So nice thin layer, and then we just do that. Now this will sit nice and flat. And then for the pendant piece I'm working on, we're just adding a silver backing. And I'm going to bring it up to right above the level of the eyeballs for the octopus. And then we're just going to make a few more of these skulls. Not filling them up all the way so I can put a different color background on them. Okay. There we go. Okay, everything transferred nicely. Alrighty, now I have skull with dandelion orb and a bee. Can you see the bee? There you go. Okay, so shake the bee over a little bit. There we go. And then add the yellow. Hopefully the bee will stay trapped. There we go. Hopefully the bee will stay trapped against the side of the skull, and it'll look like it's crawling along the dandelion. So that's just the one layer we're doing for that guy. And then for the rest of my resin, we're going to continue layering up this monstrosity. So where do I want to start? Let's start with the yellow. Then we're going to move to the white. So what I'm hoping to end up with here is a nice diffused rainbow situation between the branches. And then when I cut it into slivers, into basically coasters, each individual coaster will be very unique as far as the color goes. Glad I didn't just knock that all the way over. Okay, and then we're gonna finish it off with the silver. I think my next step here will be to take this over to my chop saw and get rid of those excess branches that are sticking out of the top, so that I'm not wasting all this resin on these parts that are just sticking up. Okay, well, that's it for now. Time to clean up and get the curing cabinet started. I'll see you later, guys.